Imagine a food so powerful that it can help reverse age muscle loss. Not just slow it, but rebuild muscle tissue in a way that's almost unmatched by anything else in your diet. Not a supplement, not a synthetic powder, a real whole food. Now here's the surprising part. This food isn't marketed as a muscle builder. You won't find it promoted in flashy fitness ads. But in the last decade, an increasing number of studies in clinical nutrition and muscle physiology have identified it as one of the most anabolic, that is muscle building foods you can eat, especially as you age. The reason? It directly stimulates a powerful internal process called muscle protein synthesis, your body's ability to repair and build new muscle fibers. And it does this in a way that's especially effective for older adults, whose muscles often become resistant to ordinary protein intake. Now, why does this matter? Because after age 30, we begin to lose muscle mass at a rate of about 3-8% per decade. By the time you reach 60 or 70, that loss can become functionally debilitating. It affects balance, mobility, blood sugar control, cognitive health, and even emotional resilience. Muscle isn't just about strength. It's your biological reserve tank. The good news? Nutrition is one of the most direct and controllable ways to fight back. In this episode, we're going to explore one specific food and, more importantly, the mechanisms behind why it works. I'll break down how it interacts with your nervous system, hormones, and even your circadian biology to create a muscle-preserving, strength-building effect. You'll also learn how this food uniquely activates mTOR, a key driver of muscle growth, why its amino acid profile outperforms most other proteins, when to eat it for maximum anabolic impact, and what to pair it with for even better results. By the end, you'll walk away with clear, science-backed tools you can start applying today, whether you're 35 or 75, to rebuild lean muscle, support longevity, and feel more powerful in your body. Ready? Let's dive in. Leucine and muscle protein synthesis. Let's start with the real star of the show, an amino acid called leucine. Leucine is one of the 9 essential amino acids, meaning your body can't make it, you have to get it from food. But what makes leucine truly unique is that it serves as a molecular trigger for muscle protein synthesis. In simple terms, it tells your body it's time to build muscle. Now here's where it gets interesting. A 2009 study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that when older adults consumed a leucine-rich protein source, even without resistance training, they experienced significantly higher rates of muscle protein synthesis compared to those who ate lower leucine meals. That's important because with age, our muscles become less responsive to normal levels of protein. This phenomenon is called anabolic resistance, and it's one of the key reasons why people lose muscle as they age, even if their protein intake stays the same. So what food contains the most leucine per serving? Eggs, decent. Whey protein, better. But the winner, by far, is lean beef. Just 3 ounces of lean beef delivers around 2.6 grams of leucine, an optimal dose to stimulate muscle growth in older adults, according to research from the University of Texas Medical Branch. That's the threshold your body needs to flip the switch on muscle synthesis. But this isn't just about protein quantity. It's about protein quality and specifically amino acid composition. Most plant-based proteins, while healthy in other ways, fall short in leucine content. That means even if you're hitting your daily protein goals, you might still be missing the biological signal needed to rebuild muscle tissue effectively. Here's a simple tool to apply. Aim for at least 2.5 grams of leucine per meal, especially in breakfast and dinner, the 2 meals where people tend to underconsume high-quality protein. And here's a practical example. If you're over 55 and looking to preserve or build muscle, try having 4 or 5 odds of lean beef or a leucine equivalent portion of high-quality animal protein once a day. Combine it with strength training and you're stacking the biological odds in your favor. What's happening in your body when you do this is like flipping on a cellular construction crew. Leucine tells your muscle cells it's time to repair, grow, and get stronger. Have you ever noticed how certain meals seem to give you more energy and strength the next day? That's not your imagination, it's biochemistry in motion. And if this insight is helping you rethink how you structure your meals, consider subscribing, because the next section will uncover how this food affects an even deeper muscle building pathway, mTOR, your body's internal growth engine. At the center of your body's ability to build and maintain muscle is a powerful molecular pathway known as mTOR, short for mechanistic target of rapamycin. mTOR functions like a biological switchboard. When it senses the right signals, including nutrients, hormones, and resistance exercise, it activates a cascade of processes that tell your body build, repair, grow. It's the primary driver of muscle protein synthesis and a key regulator of aging, cellular repair, and metabolic health. Now, here's where the food we're discussing becomes even more important. Leucine doesn't just support muscle growth, it directly activates mTOR. In fact, leucine is the most potent dietary activator of the mTOR pathway. That means consuming leucine-rich foods like lean beef not only supplies the raw materials to build muscle, it actually turns on the machinery that makes it happen. A landmark paper in Cell Metabolism, 2015, showed that mTOR activation in skeletal muscle is highly responsive to the amino acid composition of meals, especially leucine. But here's what's even more fascinating. mTOR activity declines with age, and the threshold to activate it rises. That means your body needs a stronger signal in higher quality protein to trigger growth in your 60S than it did in your 30S. And our lean beef, high in leucine, rich in complete protein, and dense with cofactors like creatine and zinc that support muscle repair. When consumed in the right amount and at the right time, it can help override age decline in muscle building capacity. A practical tool. For optimal mTOR activation, aim to consume 35 grams of high leucine protein per meal, especially after resistance training. This creates a window where mTOR is fully switched on and muscle building is maximized. Imagine your body like a house under renovation. mTOR is the construction manager. Leucine is the signal that tells the manager to call in the crew. Without it, the materials just sit there. But with the right signal and right timing, the rebuilding begins. Here's a key insight. You don't just need protein, you need the right protein in the right amount at the right time. And that leads us to the next breakthrough, something called anabolic resistance. If you've ever felt like you're eating well and exercising, but not gaining strength or muscle, this next section will explain why. If you're finding these insights valuable so far, take a moment to like this video or subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow this community and bring more science-backed content straight to you. Have you ever known someone who says, I'm eating more protein than ever, but I just keep losing strength? Or maybe you felt this yourself. Your meals are consistent, your workouts are solid, but your muscle just doesn't seem to respond the way it used to. That's not just aging, that's anabolic resistance. Anabolic resistance is a physiological phenomenon where your muscles become less responsive to the muscle building effects of protein and exercise. It's one of the most important and frustrating barriers to maintaining strength and mobility as we age. Here's what the research shows. Starting around age 50, your muscle tissue requires a stronger stimulus to trigger growth. In younger adults, even 15-20 grams of protein might be enough to activate muscle protein synthesis. But in older adults, studies like the one published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2012, show that double that amount may be needed to achieve the same anabolic response. Why does this happen? There are several mechanisms involved. A decline in mitochondrial function, reducing the muscle's energy capacity, lower hormonal signaling from testosterone and growth factors, and importantly, a reduced sensitivity to leucine and other amino acids, meaning the same dose of protein simply doesn't send a strong enough signal. But here's the good news. Anabolic resistance can be partially reversed with strategic nutrition, resistance training, and precise meal composition. This is where lean beef becomes powerful. Unlike many proteins that are slowly digested or low in leucine, beef offers rapid digestion and amino acid availability, a dense dose of leucine per calorie, and the full spectrum of essential amino acids in ratios that match human muscle needs. Simple tool to apply. If you're over 60, aim for 30, 40 grams of complete protein per meal, and make one of those meals your post-workout meal using a leucine-rich protein like lean beef, eggs, or whey isolate. Pair that with even light resistance training, like bodyweight squats, push-ups, or resistance bands, and you begin to resensitize your muscles to the anabolic signal. Think of it like recalibrating a volume knob that's been slowly turned down over time. You're turning it back up and giving your muscles the clear message, rebuild, stay strong, stay functional. An empowering truth, you are not at the mercy of muscle loss. You can train your body to respond again with the right nutrients, right practices, and the right mindset. And in the next section, we'll explore how this food and its amino acid profile interacts with your hormonal system, especially IGF-1 and growth hormone, to amplify recovery and rebuild muscle even deeper at the cellular level. Your body's ability to build muscle isn't just about amino acids or calories, it's also deeply influenced by your hormonal environment. And two of the most important hormones involved in muscle growth and repair are IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1, and growth hormone, GH. These hormones work like cellular architects and builders. Growth hormone initiates the process. It's released in pulses, especially during sleep and after exercise. IGF-1, primarily produced in the liver, in response to GH, carries out the instructions stimulating muscle cell proliferation, tissue repair, and even satellite cell activation, which is critical for adding new muscle fibers. So how does food, and specifically lean beef, play a role here? It turns out certain nutrients found in beef, such as complete protein, zinc, B12, and saturated fat in moderate amounts, support the natural production and signaling efficiency of both GH and IGF-1. One study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism 2010 found that diets with sufficient high-quality animal protein were linked to higher circulating IGF-1 levels, particularly in older adults. This matters because IGF-1 is what helps your muscle tissue respond to stress, whether it's the stress of resistance training or injury recovery. Zinc, found abundantly in beef, is another key player. It's essential for testosterone production, which supports muscle growth indirectly through motivation, energy, and protein synthesis. And vitamin B12, also high in beef, is critical for neuromuscular function, helping your nervous system communicate efficiently with your muscles. Now, let's make this practical. A simple protocol. Consume 4-6 odds of lean beef within 90 minutes after resistance training, at least 2-3 times per week. Why this window? That's when your body is most primed to utilize nutrients for tissue repair. Add a small source of carbohydrates like sweet potato or fruit to slightly raise insulin, which helps shuttle amino acids into your muscles and may support IGF-1 activation. Think of it this way. After a workout, your body is like a sponge. The hormonal environment is shifting, inflammation is rising, and your cells are waiting for instructions. Give them the signal, leucine the tools, complete protein, and the messengers, IGF-1, GH, and you create a biological environment that favors recovery, growth, and vitality. If this kind of science-backed content is resonating with you and helping you take more control of your health, make sure to subscribe and share this video. It helps others find this information and grow stronger alongside you. And next, we'll go one layer deeper into the timing of all of this, because when you eat may be just as important as what you eat, especially when it comes to synchronizing with your body's natural muscle building rhythm. Most people focus on what they eat, fewer focus on how much. But even fewer understand that when you eat, especially protein, can dramatically affect how much of it your body actually turns into muscle. This brings us to the concept of circadian rhythm and anabolic windows. Your body operates on a 24-hour biological clock, guided by the brain's suprachiasmatic nucleus and influenced by light, food, movement, and sleep. Every major system, from your hormones to your metabolism to your digestive enzymes, runs on a rhythm, and that includes your muscle building capacity. Here's what the research shows. In a 2020 review published in Nutrients, researchers found that muscle protein synthesis is naturally more responsive during certain times of the day, particularly in the morning and early evening, and less responsive overnight. That means consuming your key muscle building meals during those times could optimize how much of your food is converted into muscle. In fact, waiting too long to eat protein, especially after resistance training, can significantly reduce the anabolic effect. This is what's called the muscle full effect. After a workout, your muscles are primed to absorb nutrients and build, but that window is time sensitive. Here's a tool to apply. Time your most leucine-rich meal, like lean beef or whey, within 60-90 minutes post-workout. If you're not training, aim to consume your most protein-dense meals earlier in the day and at dinner, not just at lunch. Many older adults fall into the trap of a light breakfast, a carb-heavy lunch, and then a modest dinner, which misses two key opportunities to stimulate muscle growth. Shifting this pattern to include protein-rich breakfast and dinner meals can enhance muscle retention and even sleep quality. Let's take an example. If you train at 5 p.m., a smart post-workout dinner might include 5 O's of lean beef, a baked sweet potato or quinoa, steamed greens, or a salad. Optional, a small kiwi or tart cherry for recovery-supporting antioxidants and melatonin precursors. This aligns with both circadian timing and the anabolic window, giving your body the maximum opportunity to recover overnight. Remember, your body is always rebuilding, but it does so most effectively when your nutritional input is aligned with your biological rhythm. This isn't just about eating enough protein, it's about delivering the right signal at the right time. In our final core section, we'll look at how to combine this powerful food with other key nutrients and habits to multiply its muscle boosting effects. Because real change happens when systems work together. By now, we've established that lean beef is one of the most potent muscle rebuilding foods thanks to its high leucine content, ability to activate mTOR, support for IGF-1 and growth hormone, and alignment with your body's anabolic timing. But there's one more level to unlock, and that's nutrient synergy. In other words, what happens when we combine lean beef with other compounds and behaviors that amplify its effects? Let's start with creatine, a naturally occurring compound found in red meat, including beef. Creatine helps recycle ATP, the primary energy currency in your muscle cells. Supplementing with creatine has been shown in multiple meta-analyses, including one from the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy, to increase lean mass, strength, and muscle power, especially in older adults. While a serving of lean beef provides about 1 gram of creatine, combining beef intake with a daily supplement of 3.5 grams of creatine monohydrate can further enhance training outcomes and muscle recovery. Then there's collagen and vitamin C. While lean beef supports muscle fibers, collagen supports connective tissues, tendons, ligaments, and joints. Older adults often suffer more from connective tissue degradation than from muscle fiber loss itself. Adding collagen-rich bone broth or gelatin, along with vitamin C called Lycol from bell peppers or kiwi, 30, 60 minutes before training can improve joint health and tendon remodeling, according to research from Keith Barr's lab at UC Davis. And don't forget, sleep, your most anabolic state. Growth hormone pulses occur primarily during deep sleep, and studies show that poor sleep blunts muscle protein synthesis even when training and diet are on point. Prioritizing 7-9 hours of high-quality sleep with a protein-rich dinner that includes lean beef can support overnight repair and muscle hypertrophy. Simple synergy stack. Post-training, lean beef plus carb plus creatine plus water. Pre-training, calm routine, dim lights. Protein-rich dinner, pre-bed. Combine this with progressive resistance training, 2-3x per week. Muscle growth is not just about nutrition. It's a demand-driven process. You need to challenge your muscles to tell your body, this tissue is valuable, keep it, grow it. What you're doing here is building a system, not relying on one food, one exercise, or one hack, but creating a repeatable environment where your biology is constantly nudged towards strength, vitality, and resilience. And when you stack these strategies consistently, you don't just slow muscle loss, you reverse it. You restore power, mobility, confidence, and independence. In our final section, we'll bring everything together with a recap, reflection, and a powerful invitation to begin rebuilding one meal and one movement at a time. Let's step back for a moment and bring this all together. We began with a simple but powerful truth. Not all proteins are created equal, and lean beef stands out as a uniquely powerful food for rebuilding muscle, especially as we age. You've now seen why. We explored how its high leucine content activates the mTOR pathway, the central molecular switch for muscle growth. We examine anabolic resistance, how your muscles become less responsive with age, and how lean beef, when consumed in the right dose and at the right time, can overcome that resistance and restart muscle protein synthesis. We unpack the hormonal landscape, growth hormone, IGF-1, testosterone, and saw how nutrients in lean beef like zinc, B12, and complete protein work to support and amplify those signals. Then we layered in circadian timing, learning that eating protein in sync with your biological rhythms, especially post-workout and at dinner, makes a real difference in how much muscle your body actually retains and builds. Finally, we expanded beyond beef itself, stacking in creatine, collagen plus vitamin C, and smart sleep hygiene, turning a single food choice into an entire system for strength. This wasn't about hype. It was about biology, strategy, and control. And here's the deeper takeaway. You are not just a passive participant in aging. You're not doomed to weakness, frailty, or muscle loss just because a number has changed on your birthday. You have the tools, grounded in science, supported by behavior, to rebuild. And it starts with one choice. Not a radical overhaul, not a boot camp, not a fad, just one decision today to add 4 to 6 ounces of lean beef to your post-workout meal, to get 30-40 g of complete protein at dinner, to add creatine in your routine, or to train, even lightly, and feed your body what it needs to respond. The body is always listening. The question is, what signal are you sending? Start small, stay consistent, and trust that the science is on your side. If this message helped you, if it gave you clarity, confidence, or a plan, I invite you to join our growing community. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to know that strength isn't gone. It's just waiting to be reclaimed. Until next time, stay grounded, stay strong, and keep building the body and life you deserve.